All right, everyone. Looks like we're live. Hey, everybody. My name is Brandon, aka the Brando Critic, and welcome to my watch-along live stream commentary track for Dumbo. And for those of you guys who are wondering, this is the 1941 version, not the 2019 Tim Burton live-action remake. We will be watching the original from these guys. And if you guys are here live in the chat, thank you so much for joining. I'm seeing some of you guys join in already. Benjamin, how's it going? Your second favorite Disney movie. Now I'm curious to know what's your favorite Disney movie. My favorite Disney movie is Aladdin, but we have a ways to go until we get to Aladdin. So, you know what? I wanted to do a Disney live stream week, and, Snow White, Pinocchio, those were both big hits. We had a lot of people come out. It was a ton of fun. And now we got Dumbo, right? And I thought I'd skip Fantasia and go to Dumbo because with Fantasia, it's more of a personal, emotional experience rather than a film that you can really critique and analyze and things like that. It's more of an emotional journey that you just need to go on for yourself. So I thought let's continue and let's finish off this week, of course, with the 1940s Disney movies with Dumbo. And if you guys are watching later on in the replay, thank you so much for stopping by. I do have the timer down in the bottom right-hand corner so you guys can sync up the movie. And actually, fun fact, this is the shortest Disney movie out of all the animated features at 64 minutes. So if you guys got a hot date tonight, I don't know why you do, we should be social distancing, but if you got a hot date tonight or got somewhere to be, this live stream won't take very long. But after the movie, I will, stay afterwards to answer some of your guys' questions and talk about the movie, talk about life, anything you guys want. And if you guys are in the live stream, definitely feel free to say hi, bring in any questions, comments, concerns, and of course, like I'll always say, donations are always welcome, proceeds always go back into the channel. So I'm seeing some of you guys come into the chat here, getting ready to go to finish off this 1940s Disney week. And yeah, what do we think? We ready? And yes, I am going to be drinking alcohol for this one. Not too much because, too much alcohol will kill you. But you know what? There is a scene in this movie where an underage, well, it's an elephant, right? An underage elephant does drink, spoiler alert, he does drink and starts to hallucinate, but it's a very famous scene. I don't think I'm giving anything away, but we will discuss that scene when it comes. So, it's been 2 minutes, and I see some people coming in. How's it going? Andre, Steven, Sean, Heidi, Finn, what's going on, everybody? And Benjamin, I don't know if you're still here, but anyways, I'm still waiting for that answer. What's your first favorite Disney movie? And you know what? In the chat, type me, tell me your favorite Disney movie. While we're getting ready for that, though, let's start the sucker. Okay, we ready? All right, 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Oops. Okay, here we go. Walt Disney presents Dumbo. This is one of the VHS tapes that I watched a lot as a kid. This was one of the VHS tapes that we just kept watching over and over and over and over again. And there's some parts in this that really did scare the shit out of me as a kid for odd reasons, but I'll point them out when they come. It's funny, actually, one of the slides in this sequence, again, I'm talking when I was like 3 years old. The final one actually scared me. Okay. And this music too is just so iconic. Yeah. So hopefully we are all on the same time. I'm at 1 minute and 5 seconds. Yeah, for some reason that guy holding animation, for some reason he scared me. And this is like 3 years old. It was memorable, but I can't tell you why I was scared of it. But I do remember being scared of it. And this voice too with the thunderstorm. Just, I don't know, it's just freaky. I don't know what it is about 1940s men's narrators. Back then, they just scared me. Ever to nothing stop him. He'll get through. Like, ooh. I don't know why I was always freaked out as a kid by that, but... And then we got Mr. Stork. And then there's a lyric that I want you guys to listen to in this, and I'll point it out. Right there. He'll spot you out in China, or he'll fly to County Cork. County Cork is such a tiny place in Ireland, and that's where my mother is from. I had no idea until I was just listening to the soundtrack, right before this live stream. And I told my mom about that, and she's like, "Oh, really? That's amazing." And here we see all the animals just getting all of their little babies, which is so cute. And of course, I have all my fun facts for you guys. So this was, according to online, I didn't ask the guy, but apparently this was Walt Disney's favorite animated movie, while his favorite animated character was Cinderella. But, I mean, take that as a grain of salt. I didn't know the guy. So who here in the chat has never seen this movie before? I didn't stutter there. I slurred the word movie, but it was close. And like I said earlier, this is the shortest Disney movie at 64 minutes. It's quite bizarre. And you'll notice too, if you were here for the Pinocchio watch along or the Snow White one, is that the animation, especially the backgrounds, is definitely not up to par with Snow White or Pinocchio, because obviously the war effort happened, and most of the money was going to the war front. So they could have to try to keep this movie down on a budget. And that's why it's not as good looking as the other two movies. Yeah, Stephen, apparently. Yeah, like you can see in the background, like the characters, like the human animation, it's definitely not... It's pretty cheap. But that's why. And this is actually my favorite part of the live action version, is hearing Casey Jr.'s train in the actual movie. And then poor Mrs. Jumbo. Anyone want to make a Kim Kardashian joke here? I've always liked that train. All aboard, let's go. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. And this song will be stuck in your head all night. I definitely remember this song more than Baby Mine. And that's the one that got nominated for an Oscar. But I think every other song in this is way more memorable than that one. So yes, there is a remake of this. Tim Burton made it last year. Very different. Since that this film was only an hour long, they fit this entire story into the remake of like maybe 45 minutes, right? They skipped over a lot of it. It's definitely more on the human characters. However, seeing Dumbo fly for the first time in the remake, it's just pure Disney magic. I gotta give Tim Burton all the props for that. And if I'm not mistaken, this voice actor has been in many, many Disney movies. So, fun fact for you guys. President Truman, the one who dropped the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, when he went to Disneyland, he refused to fly the Dumbo ride because A, he was afraid of heights, and B, he thought, I love this, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, seeing the map like that. That would be pretty awesome to see that from above. But Harry Truman did not want to ride an elephant because it would look bad for the press if the leader of the Democratic Party was riding an animal that signified the Republican Party. So, you know, even back in the 50s, they were like worrying about what the press was going to say. No, Johnny Depp was not in the live-action Dumbo remake. Michael Keaton was, but he played a character that you can tell it was totally written for Johnny Depp, for sure. This way, boy. Ladies, if you want to get a guy's attention, just talk to them like that. Come here, boy. Yes, you, come here. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the voice actor for Mr. Stork is also the same voice actor of the original Winnie the Pooh and Kaa from Jungle Book. Here is a baby for you to love. Oh, so cute. Received 1 elephant, just 1 X. Great. Okay, everyone's got to sing this. Happy birthday to you. It's got to get the vibrato in there. To you. Happy birthday, dear. Dear. Jumbo Jr. Huh. Dumbo is pretty adorable, guys. Like, you gotta admit. And then, boom. First thing it sees, it's its mother. Although I do hate the other elephants. Oh, simply adorable. And then you see the ears, and they're like, no, 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 no. You are not an elephant. But you know what? They get their comeuppance in the end. And I miss in the old days when the score like dictated the movements. The dun 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 dun. This is EARS. You know, it's funny. These elephants, aren't they funny? Oh God, you bitch! Shut up. They remind me of like the women from Edward Scissorhands. You know, all the people, all the wives on the phones. The Jumbo. You mean Dumbo? Oh God, I hate those elephants. I hate them. They're so cruel. There you go. Shut the hell up. Oh my goodness. He's so cute. But yes, Finn asks in the chat which one is worse. The Lion King is much worse. Much worse. At least Dumbo did something different. The kids can't act for shit, but Danny DeVito, hey, You know, he made that movie. He actually brought some care. And then this scene scared the shit out of me as a kid. I don't know why, but it just did. I think I can. Man, this movie is just burned into my psyche. Like when I'd be running up a hill or I'd be like biking. Like I was biking yesterday up a hill and I was going, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. I wasn't even thinking about Dumbo. It didn't even occur to me that I was watching this movie or was going to watch this movie again. But yeah. So I guess now what are they in? They're in Atlanta, Georgia? And then I know there's a lot of racist moments in this movie. I'm not going to talk too much about that. Being a cisgendered heterosexual white male, I'm not allowed to talk about that stuff, right? But regardless, you know, so you have these people singing, you know, roustabouts, and you don't see their faces. They're all in black. And at the end you say, like, pick up that rope, that you dirty ape, and this is in the South, right? So, you know, this was before civil rights movement and yada, yada, yada. So, this movie hasn't aged well in the PC department. Well, yeah, this is a good song, but it scared me. The height, like I don't know why. It just you can definitely see in this version of the Disney Plus that they are like, you know, there are black people working on this, and it's like we don't get paid very well. We stay up all night, and we're happy doing it, right? But I won't touch it. Sean asks in the chat, is it bad to insult child actors? It's a criticism of the movie, right? It's still a part of the movie, and if it's not good, you can criticize it. Criticizing the kids themselves, that's going over the line. Like going over to them and saying, like going up to the kids and going like, "Oh, you're terrible. Like you're never gonna make it." But, and I can understand it. Oh, it's so cute. Yeah, and I don't know what it is about 1940s men singing and like this kind of sound, but it's always just freaked me out as a kid. And I mean, I'm sure that kids will, you know, take reviews to heart, but it's true. Like in Dumbo, those kids were terrible. You're seeing an elephant fly. You may want to like pop your eyes out a little bit, like what in the world am I seeing? And these shots always freak me out too. Yeah, grab that rope, you hairy ape. It says right here. It's a little racist. Although one movie that scared me so much as a kid was Prince of Egypt. I don't like to criticize child actors. They are still learning their job and they do what the director tells them to do. Yes, but some are better than others. And if you're judging a piece of art, you know, you can go, oh, well, it's a kid's movie, right? So imagine if you have a movie just all of child actors. You have a movie with all good child actors, and then you have a movie with all bad child actors. Which one are you going to want to watch? And if you have to recommend either one, you got to go, well, I'm going to recommend this one because the actors are better, right? So it's just being constructive. That's all it is. Prince of Egypt scared me a bunch as a kid, as a little kid, because the beginning of the movie, you know, the Egyptians go to the Hebrew village, and the thing is, you have to kill the firstborn child. And in my family, that would have been me. The music and the animation, when I was a little kid, scared me a ton. So, Steven, if you want to judge me on that, go right ahead. And for someone who just doesn't like clowns, this movie is not for them either. Best Easter movie? Honestly, I don't know. I don't really watch like when there's around Easter time, I don't really watch any Easter movies. It's just not the family I grew up in. So, like I haven't seen Spartacus, I haven't seen Ten Commandments. So sure, I'll say yeah, Prince of Egypt, best Easter movie. But then again, there's Hops, and there's movies about bunnies, like Playboy documentaries. That's a joke, by the way. But yeah. Aw. And you know what? What I like about this movie, and while some people might not like it because of this reason, is that Dumbo is never actually the focus of the movie. Yeah, he's cute and innocent and everything, but he kind of acts as the vessel for us to go into the circus and just see a bunch of weird imagery. Like, a lot of the designs on the people and just the situations that Dumbo gets in, it's really, really bizarre. So much so that they have a pink elephant sequence, which has nothing to do with the actual story, but it's just an endearing visual experience. I'm just trying to remember my review of this movie. It's been a while, but... And also, Dumbo was almost on the cover of Time magazine as Mammal of the Year, but what happened was... Oh, I love the circus guys. Come over here, little kitties. And you can see the animation on the people. It's definitely not up to par with other Disney movies, and that's because of the war. And Dumbo was not on Time magazine because Pearl Harbor happened. I don't know why that kid should be making fun of Dumbo, because he's the weird-looking one. Oh no. Yeah, Mad Elephant. It's a shame because this kid was being a dick. That kid got what he deserved. So yeah, that circus keeper was played by Danny DeVito. Oh, it's so sad. And that elephant, would it be a roar, a snarl? Elephant noise actually matched the music too. Oh, I think they faded to Mad Elephant. That's so sad, and this early on in the movie too. But then again, this movie is only. See, we're already a quarter of the way through. This movie's only an hour long. So. Oh God, it's just so sad. It's so sad. But yes. So we're going to be introduced to Timothy Q. Mouse pretty soon, but the book that this was based on, there didn't even have a mouse. It was actually Red Robin. It was a little robin that followed Dumbo around. I don't know about that. That's a pretty masculine elephant. Always gossiping, yep. Oh, look at that smug little face. It's like, I just like to gossip. No. Oh my God, that's so terrible. But we're just going to make fun of her behind her back because we're just a bunch of stuck up bitch elephants. I don't know, guys. Freak. Wow. Finn, I'm watching all these on Disney Plus. I always liked Timothy Q. Mouse. Jiminy Cricket, Timothy Q. Mouse. I would have liked to have them as sidekicks growing up. Yeah. God. That's... Pretend you don't notice him. While you look right at him, you stupid fat-ass elephant. Anyways. So, apparently, Dumbo 2 was in the works, and it was supposed to be like a Madagascar thing with, like, you know, the circus goes to New York, and then the elephants and the circus animals get lost there, and they gotta make their way home. But John Lasseter said, nope, we're not doing that. Little character development. Every character in this movie has no character development, because it's not that kind of movie, right? It's a movie about... So you have the blank slate, Dumbo, who's just cute and innocent, doesn't speak. And you have Timothy Q. Mouse as kind of like the comic relief. And you have those two characters go through this weird world. And then the main lesson of the movie is not to judge people by their appearance. And that's about it, right? You can't really expect to have this big, huge story in this kind of structure with a movie this short. You know what I mean? So it's not... It doesn't really bother me that his character development is low, because every character development, you know, is pretty small. Oh yes, Disney Plus is not in Finland. That sucks, man. What's going on, Vincent? Oh. I've always liked Timothy Q. Mouse. Even though this movie scared me as a kid, I've always was able to be endeared by him. Foist. I was like his accent, you know. The ninth wonder of the universe. Dumbo, the flying elephant. Your mother out of the clink. Oh. And apparently Timothy Q. Mouse, in the original version of the movie, it got cut, but he sang a song called Sing a Song of Cheese. And you just sang a song about cheese. That's it. But it got cut from the movie. So I guess that's like the main story, is like Dumbo needs to create an act to get his mother out of jail. That's about it. That was a coincidence. This movie sucks. Andre, what do you mean, man? Oh, well, that's where the sound effects came from. Trumpets are trumpeting. Oh, awesome. The climax. There's a few uncomfortable jokes or inappropriate jokes that are just running through my head, but none of them are actually formed yet. So I'm just gonna leave it alone. So Dumbo doesn't speak in this movie, but he would actually speak in the 1980s, because apparently there was a show called Dumbo's Circus on the Disney Channel where Dumbo was quite chatty. I didn't get to hear what he sounded like. I wonder if he sounds like, you know, if he's from the South, you know? Well, he's from Florida, but, you know. I'm Dumbo the flying elephant with my giant ears. Yeah, Austin Powers, the shadows. Yeah. Oh, snoring makes me so uncomfortable. Hearing people snore in movies, it's like, ugh, can't stand it. Does Dumbo speak in the Tim Burton remake? No, he does not. It's like this is the most detail that a person has got in this movie. Could you imagine that? Your ideas come to you when you're sleeping, when then there's a mouse speaking in your ear. And he's dressed up like a Klansman or a ghost. Yes. Oh, that word you won't hear in a Disney movie anymore. Midget. I got it. I got it. So in the Tim Burton remake, they get the guy who does all the boxing matches, the guy who goes, "Let's get ready to rumble." And that was the one head shaker because he goes, "Let's get ready for Dumbo." It's like, oh man. It's a shame now that the circus is definitely nowhere near as popular as it was back then. Because of course, internet, social media, just people got tired and sick of it. I'm not sick of it, but packy doims. And for those of you, oh my goodness, for those of you guys who are here in the live chat, what are you guys eating? What are you guys drinking? And what are you guys watching this on? VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, Disney Plus, Laserdisc? Let me know. You're no cream puff yourself. I'm using that next time someone says that I'm getting too fat. It's gonna take a while though. Being 6'8" and 210 pounds, your metabolism is pretty high. Oh, Jesus. Okay, don't wave it no more. I saw ya. Cute. So they didn't rehearse this, but, you know, this is a short movie. There's no time to rehearse. The show must go on. Right, you need to roll your R's. Bring it longer. It's not a Scottish accent. What am I talking about? But just, it's like a street performer when you just got to get more people in and just got to keep bringing it up, bringing it up, bringing it up. And we're halfway done, folks. Man, which character would I like to do? Oh, literally the worst spot. So, what character would I voice? Maybe Aladdin, Robin Hood, maybe like a Timothy Q. Mouse, like one of those like side characters. Could you imagine seeing this in real life? Like, you better run for the doors. And see, look at this. Now Dumbo's running fine. Oh, never mind. Boom, it's those eyes too. It's just freaky. Yeah, as you can see in the bottom, all the characters or all the humans are just like little cutouts. That's because, you know, and try to keep the budget small. What's the longest Disney animated movie? That's a good question. Aw, poor Dumbo. Okay, what's with the sound here too? People going, oh. I don't know. It's unsettling. Unsettling. What is the longest Disney live action or animated movie? I'm gonna look that up. So it's apparently it's Fantasia. It's 2 hours and 4 minutes. Yeah, Max beat me to it. Fantasia is the longest live action movie. Yeah, that's true, I guess. The solemn vow. He's no longer an elephant. What is on her head? I do like there's a giant stake on one of their eyes. So this scene is in the remake. And so these clowns are just crazy. Like, look at all the stuff that just happens. Okay, nice. Okay, so all of them just died. Man, hearing all this the circus music in the background reminds me of like Putting on the Ritz by Taco. Ouch. And look at that. Dumbo is now the laughing stock of the circus. But I mean, they're cheering for him, so that's good, I guess. So this scene right here, apparently there was a giant animator strike, and Walt Disney was making fun of them by making them all idiots in this. It's like, I'm gonna go to the boss for a giant raise. Hey, you're being liked. But yeah, that's got to be some real good makeup. Because you need a lot of soap to get that off as opposed to just water. There you go. Yeah, so for some reason, um, on my live streaming thing, it says that there's 4 people in here, but then when I go to my actual channel, it shows that there's 7 or 8. And it's in between. So someone keeps leaving and coming back. Make up your damn mind. I'm just kidding. But I gotta fix that. That's the classic Dumbo look with the hat and the little bib. Yeah, so I know, at least from the people I talk to, oh, it's so sad. But I know a lot of women who just bawl their eyes out with this scene. And then enter Baby Mine, which was nominated for an Academy Award that year. It's so weird. This is like, you know, it's not a song that people remember too much. At least people talk about. Then again, the Disney 90s movies just came along and then just all those songs just wiped the floor with everything else that came before it, really. Because in this one, you got Casey Jr. Circus Train, you got the Roustabout song, you got the Pink Elephant song, you got Well, I done seen about everything when I see an elephant fly. Yep. Yeah, they definitely they remixed this song for the new trailer of Dumbo. But I think most Disney live action remakes they just remake or remix or update, master or whatever some of the older songs. And then after this, you had Bambi come out, and then after that, just had like a ton of little movies that were kind of like Fantasia, but they were just like little shorts put together, like Fun and Fancy Free, Melody Time, Make Mine Music, and I know a lot of people don't really talk about those because they're not cohesive narratives. They're just like little shorts with music. Um, I think those movies have a place and time, but you need to like Disney animation and you gotta like music. Gotta appreciate those. Pour it in me slipper. Elephants ain't got no feelings, and humans ain't got no brains either. Hit him for a raise. That was a deliberate, stab at the animators by Disney because a lot of them were striking, and they're like, "Oh, well, we want a raise," and here we got the champagne going to the water. Man, that champagne's got to be laced with something because I don't know how old you guys are to drink or whatever, but, you know, you don't hallucinate by drinking champagne. So Andre asked, what if Mrs. Jumbo died in this movie and she got executed? Well, everyone would hate it. Just from, the early Disney movies showing you what your emotions want. Just, they're mostly fueled on emotion rather than logic. So people would hate it. And I'm not too sure what you're talking about with the Asia thing. But Heidi asks if there's a movie that would like to turn into a TV series. I'd have to think about that. Because I'm not a big TV series guy, so I don't know. I don't know if I'm the right person to answer that. A mix of LSD and acid. Andre, are you an expert on this subject? With LSD and acid? Oh, he's drunk. It's not water. Could you imagine getting so drunk that you start to play with the bubbles of booze and then you start to hallucinate pink elephants? Finn, I think you had well, I don't know if you had a giant stomachache afterwards, maybe you just took a whole lot of magic mushrooms. Yeah, so I mean, I was told, or I learned that this was Disney's favorite movie. And I will admit, it's probably the most entertaining climax of the 1940s Disney movies. But I would say that the most satisfying would be Pinocchio, for sure. You're surprised Disney Plus doesn't cut this out? So you're happy that they left it in, though? I'm happy that they left it in. I know, Andre. I'm just making fun of you. A big square one. Red big one. It's funny, I just remembered certain lines like this. Even though it's been a while. I watched this movie last year before the remake, but I don't watch this movie often. And then here comes the pink elephant scene. This scene scared me when I was a kid. It really did. What the fuck? Yeah. What's going on? Yeah. Yeah, see, a scene like this has nothing to do with the movie. It doesn't further the story. It doesn't develop our characters. But why is it in there? It's because this whole movie is just about weird imagery in a weird circus, and Dumbo is our vessel for exploring that. Yeah, just so you know, guys, if I make fun of any of you guys, it's not anything personal, right? I make fun of myself too, right? It's just some light fun. So don't take any offense if I'm going, if you're an expert in LSD, I assume that you aren't, you know? So it's just light fun. If I offend anyone, I apologize, but just know that I'm not actually making fun of you, like making fun of you guys. Just some light banter. Maybe it's the Canadian in me. That's what we do with each other. Yeah, like this? Like, what the hell? A little elephant on his bed. What'll I do? What'll I do? I can stand the sight of worms and microscopic germs, but technicolor pachyderms are really too much for me. Like, what am I watching? You know what I mean? And like, what is this? Like, could you imagine a Disney ride based on this? Big elephants. Yeah, I just don't want anyone in the chat to think that if I like make a joke like that, like, oh, are you an expert on LSD or whatever? It's not actually saying anything mean about you, right? I appreciate everyone for being here, and if you guys could drop a like, that'd be very, very greatly appreciated. And then you have the elephants ice skating, right? Again, speaking about LSD, this would be... I've never done LSD or any, drugs like that. Like LSD or acid or ketamine or whatever. But this is probably a good scene to watch for it if I assume. Seems like you review Disney movies disproportionately to Universal and Warner Brothers movies. It is your channel though, so honestly, dude, I don't really pay attention to who released the movie, right? Like, it's not like I watch this movie and I go, oh, it's Disney. I gotta watch more Disney movies than Universal movies. I gotta watch more Universal than Warner Brothers. If it's a movie that I want to watch, it's a movie I want to watch, right? So it's, like, I really reviewed a Disney movie this week, or back then it was released today. And I review another Disney movie coming out pretty soon. But you're seeing, like, there's more Coen Brothers ones coming, a Paul Thomas Anderson review coming. So, honestly, dude, I honestly don't pay attention to who released the movie or who made it or whatever. If it's a movie that I want to talk about, it's a movie I want to talk about. I have no prejudice against any studio or anything like that. I just judge the film based on the film. So sorry to disappoint you, Sean, if I'm making too many Disney movies. Or if I'm reviewing too many Disney movies. Enter the racist crows, and I do believe that these are actually white actors, doing this. So I think one of them is a black actor and the other ones are white. So yeah. These guys are not in the remake. Step aside, brother. Let me take a look at this elephant. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, sure, having a white guy play it could be pretty racist. So, but I like these guys. They're cool. They're funny. They're hip. They're full of energy. And this is before Ray Charles too. So I just hear them go like, "Play me some Ray Charles there, brother." Like, Ray Charles is awesome, by the way. Oh, so hungover. Ah, broken ear, broken leg, broken tail, broken rib, and Dumbo's dead. Be a much, much different movie. Well, boys and girls, we got 10 minutes left. It's a short movie, guys. Back to the Soikus. So I don't know what accent that would be. Like New Jersey, maybe? You know, I've never been to New Jersey. Did he say where the hell? How the hell did we get up there? Now let's see. Dumbo, the ninth wonder of the universe. Is that New Jersey? I mean, a Canadian who doesn't know anything about American culture is asking you. You flew. You know what? That's actually pretty profound. The things you think are holding you down are the things that are gonna bring you up. Write that down, guys. I'm after doing a lot of meditation exercises and reading a lot about that kind of stuff, that is very profound thinking. Write that down, guys. Really. And I love this song. I done seen about everything when I see an elephant fly. What'd you say, boy? Like I think they're cool. Smoking a cigar, you know. They done seen about everything when I... What's with that dance move, by the way, though? Bum ba dum ba dum ba dum ba dum ba. When I see your elephant fly. This song's gonna be in my head all day. And this dance move. Oh damn! What's up? Go, wacha, wacha. They done seen about everything. Hopefully you guys are dancing at home. Like, come on. No one's watching. You're in quarantine. Just dance. Just do it. Why is the line so long for Dumbo at Magic Kingdom? Well, I can speak more to Disneyland in California than in Florida. I've been to that one twice, but I think it's just because it's just so iconic, right? Like whenever I go to Disneyland, I almost never step foot in Fantasyland, or it's Fantasyland in Disney World, right? You know, you got the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, you got the Matterhorn, which you can do if you want to, but I never go on the teacups, right? It's always a long lineup. It's stroller hell. I am always going to Tomorrowland for Space Mountain. If I'm in Disneyland, California, I'm going to Indiana Jones and Adventureland, Pirates of the Caribbean, Splash Mountain. That's my jam. I have not. Heidi asked in the chat, have you been to Pandora Planet in Disney World? Last time I was in Animal Kingdom in Disney World was when they were still making it. I did a whole Disney World trip in 2016, and then I dated someone who lived in Orlando, so we went to Magic Kingdom for a day. You know, yeah, it's gonna be a while till I go back. You know, it's just how it happens. But you know, I will have to go eventually. It's all good, that one guy. Don't forget next time. I'm kidding. There'll be other watch-alongs, buddy. I appreciate it. A lot of ecology. The magic feather. I like how there's a little tiny outline of yellow around it. Let's go. Heave ho. Let's go. You know what? Before you guys are going to jump off a big cliff into a thing of water, a diving board, or out of a plane for skydiving, I want you guys to do that next time. Go heave ho. Let's go. Let's go. I'm dumb, about to jump off a cliff with my giant ears. I don't know, guys. Oh my god. Oh, it's so cute. That's so cool. Although I think my favorite Disney flying scene, Pixar, but when Buzz Lightyear flies finally with Woody at the end of Toy Story, it's just, oh, it gives me the feels every single time. With the wind. There you go. All right, we got 3 minutes left, guys, in the movie. I'll still stick around to chat with you guys for a little bit if you want. Have you guys actually ever been to a circus before? I don't think I actually ever have. I've been to like Disney on Ice, and I've been to like, you know, those dinosaur shows that they bring to like those like stadiums and stuff, but never been to a circus. My favorite Toy Story movie out of the 4, I give them all 5 out of 5. All of them, but the first one. That moment is pure Disney magic. How short is this movie? It's 1 hour and 4 minutes. 64 minutes. Oh, crap. My favorite Pixar movie is Toy Story 1. Then The Incredibles and Finding Nemo. And this scene in the remake is magnificent. Magnificently done. The music, the acting, the cinematography, all of it. It just reeks of Disney magic. In the remake, it's really great. And Danny DeVito, whoa! It's like, it just has that, it has those superhero chills. You know what I mean? When you see something just extraordinary. A flying elephant. Wow. And then here's a little, obviously when this film came out, that's when the war was happening. So there's a lot of references to, the planes that they were using. I guess there were Spitfires, or is that in Britain? Who knows? But either way. Yeah, grab the peanuts as ammunition, and then just shoot him at the other elephants. Those bitches. Making history. I like the scene too. Elephant flies. Like, yeah. Soars to fame. Ears insured for $1 million. Dumbo sets altitude record. Like, yeah, the Dumboers. Extra. Read all about it. Dumbo manager signs Hollywood contract. Love it. And now they're singing too. They're like, oh, I guess we like them now because now they're famous. Dumbo private, you know. You see a little jacuzzi in there. When I see... Fly. And that's it. I see an elephant fly. Oh, I love the little kisses. Dude, so cute. Wish I got his autograph, brother. Well, that's it for Dumbo, ladies and gentlemen. You know, from 1941, that was a little, tiny, little fine movie that Walt Disney Pictures put together. And of course, you know, now watching on Disney Plus, it says, because you watched Dumbo 1941, please check out the 2019 remake starring Colin Farrell and Danny DeVito, directed by Tim Burton. So yeah, that's it. That is a short-ass movie, but it's a good movie nevertheless. This was, and I said this in the beginning, but I'll say this to all the people who came in later on. First of all, thank you so much for everyone who came to the live stream. That was a ton of fun, and more watch-alongs will be happening for sure. Just check in with Instagram just to see when they are. But, you know, Dumbo, it's a very, very simple ugly duckling story, right? Dumbo, big ears, he's the freak of the show, and then he learns that, you know, sometimes your biggest detriment can be the thing that lifts you up, right? The thing that makes you unique. And that's what happens, right? So he's born with this, you know, disease or disabled disorder, disability with these giant ears. And of course, everyone makes fun of him because people don't like to see things that are different. But he realizes that, you know what, because he doesn't see it as a disability, he sees it as a gift. And because of that, he learns how to fly, a flying elephant, and he becomes famous, and he becomes, gets his mother out, and he gets really rich. So the lesson of the movie is you need fame and money to be happy. I'm just kidding, of course. It's not to judge people by their appearance. It's a very simple story. It's a very simple message, and it's effective. And because Dumbo is just cute and innocent, we care about Dumbo because he's just a cute elephant, right? And he's kind of that fish out of water, right? So he was just born, and he doesn't know anything about the circus. So we see Dumbo, we attach ourselves to him, and we see all this crazy, strange imagery, right? Pink elephants on parade, the roustabout scene, all the clowns. It's a very bizarre-looking circus with a bunch of bizarre characters with a very unique, almost creepy sound. And it works. Right? I think it's a good kids movie. And again, you know, if you're going into this movie wanting, you know, deep character development and very deep messages, you know, it's just the deepest message it is like, you know, your detriments can be your greatest assets also. So that's Dumbo for you. That's my short little review off the top of my head. And, you know, not as funny as Pinocchio, not as heartfelt, but it does have the Disney magic. Right? Dumbo flying at the end. When I see an elephant fly. It's great. So, anyways. That happened to me in a roller coaster. You hat flip and you tried to jump up and catch it. Gotcha. Yes, I have gone to the circus. F does elephant. I don't know what that means. In my opinion, this movie would get a big A+ for we watching it now and hating the remake so much. I'm like, this movie is a masterpiece. There's a kid I would give it a beer, but now I would give that an A+. Well, I'm glad you like it, dude. But I stress this sometimes is that, you know, when you watch a movie and you want to give it a review or giving it a rating, give it a rating based on the movie, not based on, you know, something that you saw prior. It's like, okay, if you compare this to the remake, you know, of course it's going to be better. But does that make it an A+ picture? Well, when compared to that, sure. It's like, okay, let's go to a funeral with all your family members, and it's the saddest moment of your life, and then, you know, all these bad things happen, but then you watch a really bad movie. I would say compared to the really, really, really sad funeral, that movie's going to look pretty good. But does that give it an A+? I don't think so. So I always try to rate a movie based on the movie itself, not comparing it to other movies. And I get it, it's hard, right? When you compare Matrix Reloaded to The Matrix, obviously it's not going to be, again, it's all opinion, but, you know, it's hard not to think about that kind of stuff. But, yeah, I always try to make sure that I judge the movie based on the single viewing experience, not based on other movie-going experiences. Was the Tarzan story written from Disney originally, or was it adapted from somewhere else? It was adapted from somewhere else. Almost every Disney movie, animated Disney film for a long time. They're all based on other things. This was based on a book. Pinocchio is based on a book. Snow White is a fairy tale. Cinderella's a fairy tale. Sleeping Beauty's a fairy tale. Aladdin is the Prince of Thieves, right? And all those Arabic fairy tales. Beauty and the Beast based on something. Lion King is Hamlet, right? Story of Pocahontas is a true story. Hunchback of Notre Dame, Mulan, Tarzan, they're all based on older things. Hercules, obviously the Legend of Hercules. They're all based on other things. Is there a Disney remake that you actually want to see? The Hercules remake from the Russo brothers could be interesting, because the thing about Hercules that I think works is that it's the Superman story, but that they surround it with a lot of really unique choices. You have ancient Greece, which really looks more like Caesar's Palace from Las Vegas. You have Michael Bolton doing the main song, and you have gospel music, and then you have the guy who drew the wall as the character animator, and then you have the kind of humor from someone's driving a giant motorcycle or something. Either way, having all those elements has a unique coat of paint for a very simple story, right? Because there really is only 7 stories in the world. So, as long as they make that unique, I'd say that one would be the most I'm looking forward to. And again, I'm not really looking forward to it. But back when they were first announcing them, I was like, oh, I'll watch Beauty and the Beast live action. I'll watch Jungle Book live action, Cinderella, all these things. But it's too bad. Also, when you guys are swearing in the chat, are you guys just putting those stars yourself, or are you actually, or does it actually do that on its own? I'm just curious. Are you gonna watch the Loverbirds on Netflix? I've been seeing pictures about it, but I know nothing about it. So I don't know. It wasn't a movie on my radar. So I don't know. But then again, if people are talking about it and people want me to review it, then who knows? Yes, that was a bad explanation of why I rated Dumbo an A+. I was just explaining that compared to the remake, this is a masterpiece, but I'm going to rated by critic wise. I will see if this movie A+. Big shock, but Scoob wasn't good. I haven't, I don't really need to see Scoob. I have really no interest in it. Do they live? Yes. Yes, they do. They live in your closet. Watch out. I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah. Loverbirds, but originally a Paramount movie, but they dropped it to Netflix due to Corona, and yes, I put the stars. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. Most of the Netflix movies coming out, like Loverbirds and a bunch of Hulu movies coming straight to streaming, I don't know. I just haven't found the drive to go see them. They haven't tickled my fancy. It's not my gin and juice. They're just not movies that I particularly look forward to, I guess. And I've been using this time to go back on movies that I really need to see, like Full Metal Jacket, There Will Be Blood, Beavis and Butthead Do America, classics. Beavis and Butthead Do America is more of a cult classic. I just watched Big Lebowski last night for the first time in maybe 10 years. Awesome movie, right? And these are all classic movies that I feel like if I want to do what I do, I should know these things, right? And I still got to watch The Godfather. I still got to watch Jaws. I still got to do all these things. But I'll tell you guys right now, I'm honestly thinking about doing reaction videos to full movies because they are getting increasingly more popular. And, I love doing reviews and everything. But when you see the reviews, the highest you'll get for a review is 373 views. And then when that's just an example, a good review will get that in the first 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then it might plateau. And then when people search it out, it's got a lot of movies, or there's a lot of videos to compare to or to compete with. But reactions, I'm finding a lot of people are clicking on those. So I'm thinking that would be a good way to grow the audience of this channel and get more people into these watch-alongs and obviously get more subscribers. And yet I'm still watching the movies and still reviewing them, but I'm reviewing them as they happen. So I'm thinking I might try to do a couple of those and see how they work out. So that's going to be coming pretty soon. And then reviews are still, I finished another 2 reviews today. The ones I just filmed. and I just edited them now. So that'll be coming out in like all the way up to mid-June. So, do you like A Star Is Born? Yeah, I liked A Star Is Born, but it's one of those movies to me. And of course, one of my best friends, he loves that movie, right? And it's funny because he starting to date his girlfriend at the time, and he sang "Shallow" to her on the guitar, and she just melted. And it's like their song, right? So they love it, but it's one of those movies for me where it's like I watched it, I can appreciate it and go, this is a really well made movie, but I saw it and I don't need to see it again, right? And I find La La Land is like that too, but that's just more of just a personal, I don't need to watch it again. It's a really great movie. Yeah, it's a great movie. Is there a movie that you think is underrated? There's a lot of movies that I think are underrated. I'll give you two movies that I think are amazing movies, 5 out of 5, that not many people talk about. Minority Report and American Made. I was honestly thinking about doing watch-alongs for those, just because not many people have seen them. But I'd say the most underrated movie, because I ask people, have you seen this? And they go, what's that? But it's so good, and the review's coming out soon, is The Rocketeer. It's on Disney+. It's a great movie. However, and I say this in my review, if you are under the age of 20, you might hate it. But if you're over the age of 20, then I think you really will enjoy it. Because The Rocketeer is it's an homage to the 1940s serial action adventure movies. And it's about a guy who gets a rocket pack, right? And it's very simple, classic American Buck Rogers type serial adventure film. For kids under 20, the films that they're growing up with right now are The Avengers and Aquaman and Captain Marvel and, Godzilla and Rise of Skywalker. And there's just so much shit on screen. There's so much CGI that when you go to a movie like that, where it's just stripped all away and it's just a guy with a jetpack, that I don't think people are going to like it. People under the age of 20, because their standards of action and adventure are just so heightened. But I would say from a script standpoint, a character standpoint, and it ticks all the boxes. The Rocketeer. It's great. It's really great. But I honestly think that if you're under the age of 20, and if you're a big fan of Avengers and all these movies with just action, explosions, and just so much crap, Transformers, Fast and Furious, just so much on screen, you might not like it. But if you don't really care about that stuff and you find, characters and story and emotion more important than that stuff, then The Rocketeers, that's the movie for you. Anyways, yeah, Mohammed, you missed the movie, dude. There's a fee for that, by the way. Anyways. Also, is it okay that I don't understand There Will Be Blood? It's okay that you don't understand everything, but There Will Be Blood is a movie that has so much to unpack. But I got a lot out of it the first time. I love that movie. That is a powerhouse of cinema. That's a powerhouse of cinema for sure. Sean, I don't know how old you are, but I suggest if you don't get it, maybe wait a little bit, wait a few years and give it another shot. Because I think there's a ton in that movie to unpack, right? And when me and my friends were talking about it, we would keep bringing up new things this is like an allegory for this. This is an allegory for that. It's about, what's morality, what's humanity, what's the human psyche all about? Who's the bad guy? It's a movie there's a lot of layers. And, sometimes Vanilla Sky's a movie that's another underrated one. Vanilla Sky's a movie that, I watched for the first time and I didn't get it. I was confused. I was bewildered. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. This movie sucks. Yada, yada, yada. For 6 months straight, I couldn't stop thinking about it because I'm like, there's so much in this movie. And I watched it again. I got it and I loved it. So, Sean, I'd say I honestly would think it'd be a good idea to wait a few years and give it another shot, because I really do think there's a ton to unpack. All right. I would give Scoob a B- at best, but was disappointed by the lack of Hanna-Barbera franchises that we're going to incorporate. Fair enough. What do you mean about a full movie? I'm not too sure what you mean. I feel like that was a question for something I was talking about a while ago. Not too sure what you mean by that one guy. Have you been anywhere in Asia, and what's the best movie that take place in Asia? Best movie that takes place in Asia. Oh my goodness. Does Skyfall count? Taking place in Shanghai there. I've not been to Asia. I've been to North America, Central America, and Europe, and Hawaii. But I guess Hawaii doesn't... Would Hawaii be still part of North America, I guess, because it is part of the United States? Who knows? But I've been to those continents. But never been to Asia. Well, I guess you have Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom takes place in China and India. That's up there. Let's see. Movies that take place in Asia. Hacksaw Ridge. That's an amazing movie. Yeah, that's all I can really think about right now. Yeah, I'll say those ones. Talking about understand movies in reverse. What movies do you think are overrated? I have a list. Let me tell you. Well, first of all, I'm going to tell you, I think Captain Marvel and Aquaman are seriously overrated. Seriously overrated. That doesn't mean that you guys are dumb for liking them. You guys can like them all you want. Feel free. I encourage you to like those movies. But, they're movies that they're not for me. Okay, I do have a list here. And I said this in another live stream, but, Leaving Las Vegas, I thought was, okay. Here's an overrated one for you. And I can hear people hitting unsubscribe right now. I did not like The Shape of Water. I really did not like The Shape of Water. I didn't like Ant-Man and the Wasp. I didn't really like Blade Runner 2049. Yeah, sorry guys. Maybe, you know what? I will admit, I think if I rewatch Blade Runner, I might like it. Actually, I don't really like the first one either. I'd say those ones are overrated. And then The Revenant. Yeah. But that's just my own personal opinion. So, okay. Rocketeer has pure spirit in the vein of Indiana Jones. Yeah, for sure. Just rewatched Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That's a movie that I thought would be a lot of fun to react to because I've never seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And from a guy who loves The Sound of Music, a guy who loves Wizard of Oz, a guy who loves Mary Poppins, a guy who loves Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, I think Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory would be right up my alley. So I haven't seen it, but I think that movie's gonna really impact me. So I still got to see it. Did you watch Mulholland Drive? I did not watch it, even though in my third year of film school, my screenwriting teacher, it was her favorite movie of all time, Mulholland Drive. It's on the list. A director who never disappointed you, George Lucas. No, who's never disappointed me, Ben Affleck. Yeah, Ben Affleck. His 4 movies, I think, and that's another underrated one too. People hated Live by Night. I thought it was awesome. Yeah, I'll go Ben Affleck on that one. You Only Live Twice takes place fully in Japan, so that definitely counts in that category. Yeah, but I wouldn't call it the best movie I've ever seen that takes place in Asia. I definitely thought about some of the James Bond movies, but I did say Skyfall. So, you know what? Yeah, you win. Hey, Brando, my disappointment with Scoob is that there's not many Hanna-Barbera franchises in the movie. I can understand people don't. That's fine. I don't really care about Scoob, to be honest with you. I liked the James Gunn movies, fine enough, but I don't feel any interest in watching the new Scoob. Top 3 Illumination movies. Sing, never seen it. Grinch, never seen it. And Despicable Me, I saw the first one and the second one once. Again, not really for me. I don't get paid to do this. Well, I just started getting ad revenue on videos. Very little. That's why I ask for donations, just because, trying to get this thing off the ground. That's the ultimate goal, is to move from my film studio job over to this, to do this full time. That's the goal. But, I don't get paid to do this. If I did get paid to do this, then I would watch those movies. But since I don't, I got to be selective about the films that I do go to see. And those ones just didn't interest me. So I can't really say anything about those. Yeah, please do watch. Yeah, it's on the list, buddy. It is. Trust me. So, yeah, it's funny. I'm thinking about The Rocketeer. Now I want to watch that. I wouldn't say it's an amazing movie, But man, I'm just thinking about the score. James Horner's score in The Rocketeer is pure magic. Like, as soon as that movie started and the music came on, I felt like, oh my God, I'm a kid again. I'm an 8-year-old kid going to the theater to watch a brand new epic. I didn't even feel like that in Avengers Endgame. I was like, what is gonna happen in this movie? It's just so endearing. So endearing. What piece of equipment is the next big investment into the channel? I would say maybe just getting the film set correct. Because right now I have the camera, right behind my two monitors. So I got this monitor right here. Then I got my other monitor right here where I'm watching the movie, right? And then when I film, I used to film just like this, but like this right now is just my actual room, right? If you've seen the movie room tour, it's just down the hall. And I didn't really have like a movie setup in that room just because like people do go in there to like hang out, and it's like it is a social interaction area. And there's just no room to really like set up the camera and do all this. And then of course I have this microphone now, which is hooked up to the computer. It just makes it a lot easier. But whenever I do a video now and I shoot, the backdrop, and I don't know if you guys have seen my reviews, but now I have like the wood wall, you have the Braveheart poster, which is just over there, and then moving the camera over, have a setup where, and now I want to do react videos too, and I don't really want to watch like, react to Seven, react to No Country for Old Men. Those are movies I want to watch on a big screen, right? And I don't really have a way to do that. So I think the next piece of investment to go into the channel would be getting the set right. You know what I mean? Like, I like this setup, but the backdrop isn't really the best, and I don't really have the space to really maneuver a ton of stuff, like, because I have like the bed here, and then it's not the biggest room in the world. The movie room is more of a hangout area. I did order some new posters for the ceiling, and I'll be doing a video based on that, like rearranging them all. But yeah, that'd be the next piece of equipment. And then after that, maybe like, I like my lighting setup, but maybe upgrade that, I think. Or like, and the camera's good too, but just some other tech equipment like that. Do you know what you're going to do with your next watch along? Not yet. I have some suggestions. This week I am pretty busy. I have some things I got to do for work, and I got to do some other family things, and things like that. So there's definitely I still got to see when I'm going to do it, but there'll be more watch alongs. So just follow me on Instagram at BrandoCritic, and you'll know when they come. So I'm going to give you guys maybe like 5 or 10 more minutes. Is that cool? But Heidi, my favorite genre is probably like action adventure. My favorite movie of all time is Pirates of the Caribbean, action adventure. You have Star Wars, which again is sci-fi fantasy, but there is action adventure elements in it. Indiana Jones, action adventure. James Bond, action spy thriller, right? Harry Potter, that's science fiction, or not science fiction, sorry, fantasy, fantasy movies, but there is some action adventure elements in Harry Potter. I was thinking about doing a Harry Potter watch along, but we'll see. I take all your considerations into account, and I put them on a sheet. So, and then I try to maybe pick like theme weeks. Maybe I was thinking maybe like a Tom Cruise one, or who knows. So you gotta stay tuned. But Curse the Black Pearl is overrated, my opinion. Yeah, your opinion is wrong. Yeah, I'm just kidding. But see, you're totally entitled to that opinion, and what you think doesn't affect me whatsoever. And again, I say this in every live stream because I see people get so upset when people disagree with their opinions. Someone gave me this really funny, check my Instagram, this really funny message on my Lion King review because I just didn't like it. And he's like, some grumpy old man. And it's like, what I said about a movie that he liked totally affected him. And now he's probably thinking, oh my God. If I like a movie that you don't, or you don't like a movie that you know what I mean? It doesn't affect the movie at all. The movie doesn't actually change. It's just your perception of it, right? So if someone says, hey, your favorite movie's The Dark Knight? Well, I think it sucks. It doesn't mean that you got to sell your copy. It doesn't mean that you can never watch the movie again. It just means that some guy in Vancouver doesn't like it, right? And I think The Dark Knight is actually really good, by the way. Just an example. So, yeah, don't kill me, but I think OG Star Wars is a little overrated. I won't kill you, but I will completely 110% disagree with you. That's about it. That's all I can really say. What has been the worst movie-going experience for you? I got a funny one. Do you want to hear this one? So, basically, through mutual friends, there was a girl named Felicity. Her name is not Felicity. I'm just calling her that because I don't want to give her real name out here. And I had the biggest crush on her. The biggest crush on her. And back then, I was not very good with women. Believe it or not. Yeah. No, but this was around 2014. So I was about 20. I wasn't even 20 yet. I was 19. And Nightcrawler was coming out. And I'm like, hey, there's a new movie called Nightcrawler coming out. Do you want to go see it? And this isn't the worst movie-going experience. It's just a really funny one. It was kind of a bummer. And I'm like, do you want to go see it with me? And she's like, yeah, okay, we'll see it. And I'm like, yes. By the way, I don't think going to the movies is a really good idea for a first date. But that's a whole other topic. We can talk about that later if you want. And so I'm like, Felicity, we should go on, let's go to the movies together. And so we're like, okay, we'll meet at the theater at 8. We'll get to the 8:30 showing of Nightcrawler. It'll be great. And then I see my best friend comes along, Mitch. And he's in that friend group. And his friend Hayden comes along. And I'm like, oh, hey, guys, what are you guys doing here? And he's like, we're watching Nightcrawler with you. And I'm like, oh, really? And then our friends Alyssa and Sarah and Alicia and all these people come. I'm like, what are you guys doing here? And they go, well, we're watching Nightcrawler with you. Felicity invited all of us. I'm like, oh, yeah, that was supposed to be a one-on-one date thing. And they're like, oh shit, Brandon, I'm sorry. I didn't know that. She just invited us, right? Like, sure. And we had all 8 of us. And then she showed up late, stoned out of her mind, high as a kite. And she just didn't even look at me, didn't even say hi to me. And I was like, okay, well, Nightcrawler was a pretty good experience. But I may have said some pretty, not my finest moment. I may have said some pretty bad. I called her a perma-fry. I said, okay, I guess your brain is perma-fried then with all the weed you're smoking. She didn't take that too well. So that's the story that pops into my mind. And I guess worst movie-going experience, like I've watched bad movies in the theater, but that's one that sticks out. We're like, oh, at the time you're like, oh God, I like this girl a lot. And now she just does this. So, but I look back now and laugh, because her and I are not compatible at all. So yeah, that's a funny one. Max, you retracted your message, man. The guy that was probably just a troll. I didn't like the Lion King remake too. Yeah, gotcha. Do you think hype can kill a movie? For me, it's The Dark Knight. There's hype, but it's what you do with it, right? So I think when there's hype for a movie, it's your responsibility. If you go into a movie expecting it and wanting it to be the best movie you've ever seen in your entire life, those standards are now at an all-time high. And as soon as you see anything, right, even like a good movie, it doesn't match up to that. So naturally, you're going to be disappointed, right? And that's when I talked about this in my Things I Hate About Film Fans rant. That's when people can go like, it's the worst movie I've ever seen. It's the best movie I've ever seen. Where it's like, probably not. If every single movie you've ever seen is the best movie you've ever seen, then you might have a really bad memory that you need to get checked out, or, just your standards for movies are just all out of whack. So while I do agree that hype can, kill a movie sometimes, but I think it's just going into that and just managing your expectations and being responsible enough to go like, oh, I really want to see this movie. Like for me, No Time to Die, right? That's the movie that this year I really wanted to see. And I really can't wait for it. And I really hope that it's amazing. But if I go into that movie expecting it to be an amazing movie, it's going to be extremely hard to live up to those expectations. You go in there and going, okay, I'm going to go in with an open mind, and I'm going to see what happens. And it goes the opposite way, too. when you go into a movie wanting to hate it, then you know what, you could, pull a self-fulfilling prophecy and really hate the movie. But, like for example, Ex-Girlfriend 2016. Can we watch my favorite movie of all time? I'm like, what is it? Legally Blonde. I see the pink case, and I was 21, and I wasn't probably the most smart guy in the world. I'm like, oh god, I don't want to watch this chick flick. But I'm like, you know what? Open mind. And Legally Blonde is a great movie. It is a great movie. And I went in with an open mind. If I went in going, I'm going to hate this movie, you're probably going to hate the movie because you're just going to find flaws, right? So I think hype can, play a factor, but to me, I try to go into a movie as open-minded as possible. So that's my answer to that. I think Batman Begins is better than The Dark Knight. You know what? You're not alone. You're not alone. Have you ever sneaked into a movie? Yes. When I was 7 years old, snuck into a Star Wars Attack of the Clones after Scooby-Doo. Yeah. I misspelled the title. That's why I retracted it. The title to what? I don't know your original message. I snuck. My mom's an English teacher. That's why. I snuck into Halloween because it started rated 18 in the UK. I'm 16. Oh, you bad person. Yeah, I mean, I've done some other things in theaters that are not the most legal of sorts, but maybe for Patreon. Maybe if we get some enough likes or enough what's the word I'm looking for? If people want it enough, then I might tell it. But I haven't snuck into a movie in a long time. A really long time. Yeah, I used to do it all the time. Yeah, I mean, if it's easy to do, then like I understand why people would keep doing it if it's really easy to do. At my theater, there's one by my old work, by the bar I used to work at, where it's like you buy your ticket and then you buy your ticket right at the door and then they check it right away. And then you can go in, and sure, there's no checks at the individual theater gates, but the food is so much more expensive because they know that, if you're going to sneak into other theaters, then we're just going to jack up the prices. So it's like a small Coke is going to cost you $6 Canadian. Like, no thanks. But reclining chairs, landmark over Cineplex. Right. Nightcrawler. I realized that was the title. Gotcha. Snuck in Mary Poppins at IMAX, which was almost impossible. So, also, I don't know. I really don't know. So the theater near my house in Vancouver has an IMAX screen, and it's a big IMAX screen. But when I went to the States, I was in Bellis Fair Mall, which was in Bellingham, Washington. And whenever I fly down to Vegas, I always fly out of Bellingham because it's a lot cheaper. So when I flew back, I flew with my parents. We went to Vegas together, but I was on an earlier flight by like 4 hours. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to just wait at the airport for 4 hours. I'm going to go to the theater. I'm going to watch a The Fate of the Furious in IMAX. And it's like, yeah, an all new IMAX theater. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And I go into the IMAX screen, and I'm like, this is smaller than your regular theater in Canada. So am I thinking, is it just this one theater that's just a scam? Because this is not IMAX. It's not IMAX. It's smaller than your regular Canadian theater. Or are American IMAX theaters just smaller? I've only been to one. So I've yet to try out IMAX in LA or New York or Miami or Chicago or wherever, like the bigger cities. But, man, that IMAX theater I went to in the States, that was small. And I went in, I'm like, am I in the right theater? It was the right theater, paid for IMAX. It was not IMAX. So now I'm like, are Canadian IMAX screens just the biggest that we have in North America? If so, that's pretty great. But I don't know. Again, could be just that one theater. So that was my one question. I'm like, interesting. But anyways. Yeah. Also snuck into Mary Poppins. I snuck into Joker, and this old man usher kicked me out halfway through the trailers. Well, I mean, you did, you did sneak in. You know, man, I see it. I sense a little bit of ageist in there. This old man usher. It doesn't matter how old he is. He's just an usher. I'm kidding, of course. That's Cineplex for you. That chain is only good for scene points. Well, the theater in the States, I don't know what it was. I think it was AMC. I really think it was AMC, and it said the AMC IMAX, and it's like, this is not IMAX, right? Cineplex IMAX, where I was from, that's huge. So it's probably just that one theater. It probably was, but you know what I mean? The suspense is terrible. It's a Willy Wonka reference. You wouldn't get it. Oh, is that shade at me, dude? I don't know. Probably. Okay. Well, and look at that. Now I have actually more people in the stream than before the movie. So, anyways, if you guys have any more suggestions for watch-alongs, put them in the chat. I'm gonna list you guys what I have down for suggestions so far, and then we'll see what happens. So I have more Walt Disney Animated Classics. This was it for the Disney week. Pixar, some Pixar movies. The Fast and the Furious. You know, it would be nice to watch those movies before the new one comes out next year. Alien, the Alien franchise. Ocean's 11, American Made, The Last Samurai, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Iron Man, Captain America the Winter Soldier, Joker, Men in Black, The Nice Guys, Shrek, Chicken Run, Wedding Crashers, Dodgeball, Dumb and Dumber, Minority Report, The Rocketeer, I put that down, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Harry Potter. It's a joke, bud. I know it's a joke, bud. A Serbian film. Well, I would be down for one, but again, I just don't know how many other people would be. That's the thing. So, yeah, dude, Brian, American Made is an amazing movie. It's an amazing movie. It's a movie that is completely underrated. Not many people talk about it. So, and the suspense is terrible. It's a Willy Wonka joke. Yeah, 2 Girls, 1 Cup. I might get booted off the internet for that. Well, I'm not showing it, but I think just incentivizing people to watch it. And I know a lot of people, not a lot, but some people watching this are under the age of 18. And yeah, it's funny. I've actually never seen that, but yeah. Yeah, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I would watch that first by myself. I don't do watch-alongs for movies that I've never seen before. Only because I'm not fully watching the movie, because I'm answering the chat too, and I'm talking to you guys as well, and I'm like doing the live stream also. If I want to watch a movie for the first time, I could react to it and like film it and just speak, but there'd be no chat interaction. You know what I mean? And if I'm just watching it, you're going to get a lot of this. Right? And is that like the most exciting thing ever? So I wouldn't be talking at all, and you know, I wouldn't be able to. Watch-alongs are a lot more interactive, right? So if I watch it and love it and then want to watch it again, then possibly. Then that'd be a consideration for sure. Please do a review for Willy Wonka. Well, I got one person for a Willy Wonka thing. It's on the list, man. It's on the list. I still need to see it. But I really hope I like it. I think I will. But anyways, I think that's going to do it for me. So basically, it's a 45-minute discussion for, a 45-minute discussion for an hour-long movie. I've almost been talking for as long as the movie was. But yeah, that was Dumbo. It's a classic Disney movie, and, it's the simple ugly duckling story, but it's surrounded with weird imagery, and it's got a valuable lesson. And it's got that Disney magic. What more could you want, right? And for an hour, right? So, no Tim Burton films. His movies are overrated, in my opinion. Well, we watched a predecessor to a Tim Burton remake. I was honestly thinking about maybe Batman, 1989. That'd be a fun one, too. And Edward Scissorhands would be a good one, too. So, if I do any Tim Burton ones, Brian, I'll let you know in advance. So, you can stay clear. But, yeah, Tim Burton isn't a person that I've been like super in love with, but if he makes a good movie, then I'll go watch it, right? Have you seen Charlie Chocolate Factory, the Tim Burton one? No, I haven't. I haven't seen any Chocolate Factory movies. I agree with you, Brandon. I'm not too sure what you agree with me on, but thanks. Yeah, please do Batman 89. I'll consider it. I watched Batman and Robin for the first time last night, intoxicated, but my friend and I watched it. He was like, "Oh, I loved the toys when I was younger, and I like loved this movie because of nostalgia." And I go, I probably loved really bad movies back in the day because of nostalgia too. Snow Dogs. It's a movie I watched all the time. I rewatched it last year. Not good at all. Chris Nolan films. Yeah, that's Inception maybe, They're all considerations. So, yes, follow me on Instagram at BrandoCritic and you'll understand, or you'll see when the next watch-alongs are going to happen. This week I am pretty busy, so it might be a bit longer between watch-alongs, but there are more coming. So anyways, guys, for everyone who is in the chat, thank you so much for joining along. It was a lot of fun doing these Disney films, and thank you so much for all the chats and everything, all your support. It means a ton, and I'm sending out just a lot of positive energy to you guys. You guys deserve it. And yeah, I'm hoping that you guys had fun. And of course, I gotta say, just because I throw some shade at you guys, it's not anything personal, right? If I'm, making jokes about, oh, you're the expert on LSD, it's just having light fun, okay? So I just gotta make sure, right? I don't hate any of my subscribers, right? I'm thankful for all you guys, and I'm thankful for all you guys coming in here. I'm sending you guys a cheers. If you guys want to have a shot with me, then here's a virtual shot. So anyways, more videos coming, more Star Wars reactions going to come pretty soon, and more watch-alongs happening. So for all you guys at home, stay safe, wash your hands. Hope you guys are in good health, and thank you guys. Appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. You guys are awesome. See you later.